All right, guys. Second call of September. I don't even know what day it is or what time it is, but we are here and that's what matters. So a few announcements. We were supposed to have the body mixed bike call tonight, but we are pushing that to next Wednesday because there's a big training on Friday for all coaches. So in the champions page, make sure you guys listen in on that. And then Allie and myself will be doing a big launch team call next week for all challengers and coaches to know what's coming on the 21st, what they can get access to, what they can purchase, all that good stuff and that good jam. I will also be adding content to the guide, which used to be units in our Facebook group, on that after our team call next Wednesday. So I wanted to get it in tonight, but I didn't want to not have answers to questions that I don't have information on. So we're all going to be diving in hard this weekend. I know that a lot of our team is very, very excited about that. One of the main differences that's coming up is they're still working on some things with body. So that official launch won't actually come until after the bikes. So that will come in October. So the beta testing for body will still be through October. They're going to do a big launch week for that with like celebrity appearances. It's going to be hyped real hard marketing wise. So more information to come on that next week. There was one other thing that I wanted to announce. Obviously, we're doing our free week right now, which I've been crazy busy at work. So I'm going to pop in and do a live video after this. But I would love for more of you guys to get in there and just share your stories, share how this community has helped you, because there is so many women in that free group that just sit and watch, and you never know who you could touch with getting in there and being open and honest about what this community has done for you. Was there one more thing? What am I missing, Allie or Jess? Obviously 645 is still on sale and will not be launched on BOD until the winter. That was a question that was asked in the hub. Oh, I know. So also going to be talked through on Friday, and we'll talk more about this, is challenge packs have now become total solution packs. And it's going to be cool because we're going to be able to customize them a little bit more towards what our people want. So there's going to be a lot more options around launches and just generally around challenge packs to serve your customers and coaches and preferred customers. So we'll be learning more about that through Kim Carver on Friday, and we will be sharing that with the team as we know those details. So just super excited for a lot more new tools coming our way. And I know the bike launch will be massive. Remember that it is definitely going to be cheaper than some other company I won't say. And you should definitely be connecting with your current people first to make sure they're aware of what is coming.
Something else I want to say about the bike. I read in one of the trainings, it'll actually be cheaper than you can buy it through Mix in like at any time. So like the sale, I know Jess mentioned this a while ago. Any sale price that you see from Mix, it'll be cheaper through Beachbody all the time.
Yeah, and there will be it's either a 2 or 3 week promotion period, just like we do with launches in general, that it is going to be discounted. But again, we're going to have all that information next week for you guys. So tonight we're going to do a hot seat for Allie, because as you can see, she has baby number 2 in tow. And we kind of were just like, Allie was asked to share what's working for her. If you guys don't know, she has built her business over the last year, really. She has hit diamond with her team. She has hit Success Club every month, which means she's helped 3 to 5 people every single month the last year in a row consecutively. She's just hustled because she's had clear, concise goals for herself. And I'm excited for her to just kind of dive in and give her fire, because I think sometimes she lurks in the background of like just doing the things, and people don't realize how she's actually doing the things, and that it's not some magical superpower that I've told her about. It is her literally diving into what works for her. So Allie, you have the hot seat. I will obviously guide and Q&A you if needed along the way, because I know babies are distracting, but yeah. Thank you for being here.
Of course. So obviously Jack didn't want to go to sleep tonight, so he is here too. So sorry if he cries and is fussy, but anyways, so like Danielle said, I started, hold on, pass fire down. So I started my business full force a year ago, because I had the goal to take one day off of work so I was working 2 jobs at the time just for extra income. So my goal was to take one day off of work, to spend time with my now 3-year-old. So that was what kind of pushed me and guided me and was really what drove me over the last year. And then obviously I got pregnant with baby number 2, and here he is, with his full head of hair and all. Um, so I just dove right in and started doing the vital behaviors. So I know that those are talked about a lot in this business, but you have to be proof that what you're doing is working. So I coached right when Grayson was born. So 3 years ago, I tried, and all I did was send out invitations, didn't post to my stories, didn't do anything. And no one answered me. Why? Because I wasn't showing that I was doing anything, right? I was just sending out these messages to people that I knew. No one answered. So this time around, I show that I drink my shake. I show that I do my workouts, and really the proof of the transformation of who I've become with my personal development and my workouts and this community too. So that's the biggest thing that I think over the last year that's changed is kind of my inner growth that I've had with myself, and that I've just become a lot more confident in who I am and what I'm capable of. So, in terms of how I've grown my business, I never stop sending invitations. I know a lot of people don't like sending invites. There are always people that I have talked to or know from previous encounters, like worked with before, went to school with, etc. In a mom group with them, something. I don't cold message people or anything like that like you get from other companies sometimes or other people. But I always send invitations out. And guys, I'll be honest, Danielle said this plenty of times and I didn't believe her. A lot of people will ignore you. A lot of people will say no, but does it matter? No, because I still do the work, and Danielle said this too. It kind of fuels me to push harder because people aren't answering me. Like, you know what? Screw them. I'm going to get my team. I'm going to build my business. I don't really care about them. If they don't want to hear what I have to say, what I have to offer, that's fine. But I'm not going to harp on it and let it get me down. So what other questions, Danielle?
Talk a little bit how you shifted from your team of like just challengers, because that was a big thing for you. And I think for a lot of coaches, we just enroll challengers because that is easy to us because that's what we love, right? We love the programs, we love the products, and that's amazing. But there was a deeper purpose and an impact that you wanted to make. So what did you need to shift, and why did you want to build a team and not just, enroll people for fun if they reached out or that sort of thing?
So I wanted to build a team, really just to mentor other women, so they had the same feelings and belief in themselves that I had found and instilled in myself. So all of my coaches were challengers before they were coaches or signed up to do both at one time. And this thing is popping up. Sorry, distraction. I just wanted them to have that same power and motivation to do something for themselves. Like one of my coaches, once we got down to the nitty gritty of why she wanted to do coaching and what her goal was, it was really powerful to say, like, she wanted to pay off all her medical bills and show her daughter that she could do whatever she wanted to do and put her mind to. And she told me no, and I'm sure she'll watch the recording. She told me no for 3 months before joining as a challenger. She was like, no, I don't like to work out. I don't want to do that. And now she's a coach. So never discount anybody.
Well, and Allie, you had a bunch of people that said they wanted to coach and then dropped off. So how did you keep going through those times when it would have been easy to just be like, well, I must not be a good leader, or diamond's not worth it?
So I did the same thing to Danielle. So to be honest, I said I was going to coach and was all gung ho, and then kind of dropped off the face of the earth. And so I knew that if I came back and coached and was more gung-ho and excited about it this time and really ready. Like I had the passion behind it, not just I want extra money kind of thing. I knew that I was going to keep pushing forward and I would find that team and those women who actually wanted to work and do the work, and that it will be worth it in the end. So, and I've had people that quit and didn't want to coach anymore because they didn't want to put the work into it. And they've come back and said, maybe I should have given it another try or something like that. So, like I said, never discount anybody. They might come back like I did.
Well, and you attract who you are. So, like, how do you feel now that you have a year under your belt of consistency? How does that feel differently for you than maybe in the beginning?
So I feel like in the beginning, not that I felt like I was being a fake, but in a sense, I had completed a program. I completed 80-day obsession after I had Grayson, but I just felt like I wasn't kind of living it day to day long enough to say, hey, come coach with me. I know what I'm doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I still sometimes don't know what I'm doing, right? We learn day to day. So I think having that in my tool belt and in my was that okay? Did I freeze or am I good?
No, you're good.
Okay, it looked like I froze. Has allowed me to just push forward and be a more confident person, like I said.
So what do you feel is your biggest struggle with coaching, and how do you work through that?
Like mentoring other women.
Any of the above. Could be
I think the hardest thing for me is one right now, finding time to mentor and to meet with them that meets their schedule. Because all of my coaches are moms, all but one are moms, and all work full-time jobs. So we're all busy, of course. So it's hard to find that time to mentor. Also, one of the hardest things for me is that everyone's not like you. Right. So like I don't coach like Danielle coaches. Jamie isn't coached like I coach. So helping her find how she was going to coach and kind of lead her through that was challenging because I can't tell Sarah, Jamie, whoever how to do it. They have to figure it out themselves and I can just give them guidelines. So I think that's been the hardest, honestly, is like I can't say you need to post every day. Like, no, it's figuring out how they're going to do their business and what they want from it. That's the hardest for sure.
Yeah, figuring out how other people work and how you can mentor them through that when you're like, what do you mean you just do it?
Right. And that's what Danielle always told me. And I'm like, what do you mean I just do it? Like, I don't understand. But then once I started doing the work and like checking off the tracker, honestly, is when I found success. So the tools that Beachbody put in place are there for a reason, you guys. I ignored them for a long time, but they're there for a reason.
So talk about your new season of life, right? So when SHIT hits the fan, because kids are on board, and
okay.
life changes, because I think many of us have gone through different things, whether we have weddings coming up like Jess or, job changes or whatever. How have you kept your business a constant for yourself through those changes, or what drives you to keep going? Because having a baby is a massive life change and you still hit Success Club. So
I honestly think now, so after baby number one, I was completely overwhelmed and didn't know what I was doing. And I felt like I had no time in the world. So I take Grayson to daycare 3 days a week now, sometimes 4. So I have a lot of time because newborns sleep all the time. He eats and sleeps. So I always am bored and I always have my phone in front of me for the most part, except when he's awake, which is like 30 minutes at a time. So I've used that time to put in intentional work and do the work that I need to do, whether it's listening to a podcast instead of watching Netflix, which I'm watching Grey's Anatomy right now, and I'm obsessed. I've never watched it. It's embarrassing. I've never watched it. So I'm literally like, I could just be watching Grey's Anatomy and that's what I want to do. But I use that time that I'm feeding him or he's sleeping on me or whatever, where I can't move, to work. So I feel like honestly, in this season of life with a newborn, it's been easier because I'm not working yet. And so I have more time on my hands. Now, when I was massively pregnant and hot, like when I was delivering him, that's a different story. But I still had Stats Club 10 on the day he was born, I think. So don't let those, there's always going to be life challenges, right? And even in anything that you do, there's always challenges. So you just have to climb up that hill or mountain and just kind of charge forward and just do the work, because those things are always going to get in your way. And you just have to get over it.
Well, and you had a plan, right? Allie, like
Yeah.
she,
So so I always have a plan. I'm type A, I always have a plan. So in July, I knew I had to hit Success Club. His due date was the 19th, but I was induced on the 14th, but I knew I had to hit Success Club at least 6 by, I think I said by the 10th, but I ended up hitting it I hit 6 by the 10th, but then hit 14th on his due date, on his birthday. But I always have SC10 by the 10th mindset, always. It doesn't always happen, but I always send enough invites out that it can happen. So like today I sent 30 invites out. I have conversations going. I'm already have carts out to hit Success Club 6 tonight. So I front load my months always because it makes it easier. I know Amanda talked about that on her call last week or 2 weeks ago, about front loading her months in the last half of the month. You can kind of plan for the following month and do more coaching stuff. So that's kind of been my goal for I would say the last 6 months is to hit SE 10 by the 10th or more. And now that I have the Success Club All-Star streak going, I don't want to end it. So I'm in a challenge with myself too.
what are the perks that come with having that?
So, well, I am a nerd and love the little gifts you get every, like at month 1, 3, 6, 9, and 12. So that's one perk of just hitting the Success Club. But of All-Star is getting getting recognized at Summit, which will be next July. And then getting to enroll or register for events earlier. So like for the Success Club trip, getting to register before everyone else, before the general coaches. So lots of fun things. And then if you have All-Star Legend, right? So 24 months, there's even more perks there too. So
yeah, early Summit registration too for hotels and stuff. So what would you say to someone that is maybe kind of lurking or stuck in a season that they love the community and maybe they've hit big goals before, maybe they've had a few good months before and they're not quite sure what to do next? Where would you guide them?
So they're currently coaching or they want
currently coaching? Yeah.
So I mean, I would just go back to the beginning, right? So are they doing the work? What book are they reading? What personal development book are they reading? What work are they putting in for themselves? So where are they, right? In terms of their journey. And then just talk them through kind of like what the what's challenging them, right? So like what's their obstacle and how can we overcome it together, and how do we get that momentum going again?
Well, and I think also one of the big things for you, Allie, was because our team was so established, and I think a lot of my coaches struggle with this, is like, well, the things are already there for me. The challenge group's already set up, the hub's already there. What does it matter if I show up or not? But it actually does matter that you show up on team calls, that you go live in the hub. Like, talk a little bit about that and creating your own identity and what you're doing for your team right now, because you definitely struggle.
Right. So yeah. So I mean, it's been a year of being my own team, and I've kind of lived under the Glow Diggers. I've lived under Danielle's team, I would say, and didn't have my own identity, which it's fine. But you kind of just I would say get stuck, but I have over 100 challengers of my own at least. And so they don't know Danielle, right? They don't know who Danielle is, they know me and the people on my team. And so I've been thinking long and hard, and I decided to make my own team name, which is Team Grit. This is hard to say. I never said it out loud. Grit, Grit, Grace, Glow. So it's kind of Glow Diggers derived, but it kind of gives more identity to me and to what I feel like I and my team embody and empower. So we are obviously still a part of the hub. That's the fun part of the hub, is that it's for bigger teams, or 5 bigger teams with Amanda, that have kind of come together to be one unit. So you kind of have to go on your own journey and then come together inside the hub, which is the whole purpose of it. So to all the other coaches, I would say, you with your challengers, you have to make your own. You can't just rely on the hub as your only source of communication with your challengers, which I think some people do, but they get lost. There's 640, 50, something like that, girls in there. And so they're not, like I said, nobody knows. Danielle's the one that mostly posts. And so my challengers don't know her. I mean, they know who she is. They've never met her before. So yeah. So making your own identity is important.
So what are some ways that you make your own identity for your team?
So I send out weekly emails. They've slacked off a little bit with this new one. But I try and send out weekly emails to kind of keep my team updated and in the loop about what's happening. I personally check in with my challengers, depending on the person. Some people need that weekly check-in just for their own benefit and to keep them motivated. Others don't want any at all, and some want monthly. So I know what my challengers want, and I ask them up front, how often do you want me to communicate with you and check in with you? So I check in with them and just have conversations regularly, to make sure they know I'm watching and that I'm around if they need anything. So then making my own, I think the biggest thing for me now that I have my own team name established is kind of making our own, I don't want to say swag because that sounds silly, but making our own identity and being our own individual team. But yeah, I would say emails, and then I have Facebook message pods for like my mom group that I have kind of harped on the past 5 months. And we all chit chat about mom stuff basically all the time. So just different things based on people's needs in their lives.
Well, and you did a lot of like giveaway goodies sort of thing when you first started building your team, right?
Yes. So I did, like, I did a lot of, when they finish a program, I would send them something. Now that's become challenging to keep up when someone's finishing a program if they don't tell me. To sending out that much stuff has become difficult. So I send out like random prizes, like Katie's done 3 programs, so she might just get a random surprise in the mail kind of thing. I'm a gift giver. That's my love language. So I enjoy giving gifts. But yeah, and I always send them when someone first enrolls, I always send them a little goodie bag with a special note and then some samples to try. And I've had a lot of people like end up buying the product from sending them samples. And fun fact, it is all a tax write-off for all you people who don't know. So we love that. So yeah, send away.
Awesome, Allie. I think this was really great. Do you have any other closing thoughts as we go into like fall, winter, when is normally maybe a time where we kind of slack off or let loose a little bit, or it's the holidays? What are you kind of doing for your business, your team, but also like what advice would you give to keep the fire going to your why?
So first off, a body and mix are huge. So if you're not on board with those or know nothing about them, make sure you're in the call next week because they're huge launches for Beachbody. People who don't, I'm going to go on a rant, but people who didn't like Beachbody before because they were programs and you had to stick to the calendar and see the same trainer every day, the body's perfect for them. Those people who love group fitness classes and thrive off of them, that's who body's for. And so having that in your arsenal and saying, hey, it's cheaper than your gym membership, but you get the group fitness classes and you're at home doing it and your kids don't have to go to daycare, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be big. And I know they're working out some kinks, but it'll be big once it's established. The mixed bike's also huge. We all know why. Peloton kind of runs the world right now in the fitness market. So that's epic. And I've already have 2 people that are ready to buy if it launched tomorrow, because I've been mentioning it. So those are 2 huge things for fall. I also feel like fall, people don't like to enroll during summer because they're at the beach, it's the vacations, et cetera, et cetera. And then fall hits, they're like, oh crap, I gained 20 pounds. I still have my COVID quarantine weight or pandemic weight. I need to get in shape. And so I've had people this week reach out to me that I haven't heard from in a year, that I reached out to a year ago, and asked for more information because nothing worked for them. So 1, never stop showing up. 2, never stop working your business. I don't care if it's Thanksgiving week or if you're in labor with your second kid. I don't care when it is. If people want in on what you have to offer, don't ignore them, because that could be your next coach, your next big person that you can support. Number 3 is I still have those goals. To my newest goal for my business personally is to only work 3 days a week, to spend more time with this little one. So he only has to be in daycare 3 days a week, especially with COVID and all the nonsense. But anyways, so that's why I push my business. I've never stopped. I'm never going to stop. So bottom line is, guys, don't stop. If you have a goal, push for it. Don't let anybody stand in your way. Only find those people that are going to support you, not stand in your way and put you down.
Boom. Mic drop. I think I used to hear that, like, don't ever not stop working your business for a day, and get really freaked out by that. But it's like so true in the sense of you get to decide as your own boss what that work looks like. Like,
Right.
I run 12-hour days the last, I even worked this weekend and last weekend, and I still send invites and I still put up a post when I was dead tired, because that why is so big. And so I think what Allie's saying is, like, be excited about something right now in what you're doing. Be surrounded and plugged into the community and following your own stuff, because life's always going to happen. And always have that next bigger goal that's not just about money, or like, time is something we can't get back ever. And there's nobody on this call that wouldn't say that there's something that they want to do with their time that they haven't been able to do in their life yet. And there's something within the business that can cultivate that for you. So I always say, like, when you're like not very attached to, like, I don't really care about the money, or I don't care who's active or whatever, there's something in your life that's on your heart that you're not doing right now that can happen through working your business and being that light. And look at the world right now. There's so much shit going on. And who are we to stop when you never know who's watching? And Allie's not a unicorn. Like, she sat for 3 years. And I just think about that all the time when there's days where I don't want to show up. And it's like, damn, imagine if I just like never talked to her again because she just like quit on coaching, you never know. So thank you for sharing your heart. I'm so proud of you. I'm glad that Jack could join us and take a
Special surprise.
And shout out to you, Jess, for joining us driving. And I will post a recording, guys. I hope you have a fabulous week, and look out for some awesome info next week. And let's get as many challengers from the hub on next week's call. So make sure you guys connect with them this week, let them know what's going on, and let's get them hyped up so we can help a lot of people reignite and reset into the fall winter with this new stuff coming out. All right, I will stop rambling. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Allie. We'll see you guys next week.